I'm Neil Burley and welcome to my studio. This session is going to be on how to make 6 flowers using Craftwork Cards Card Candi. I'm going to show you now how to make my pinch petal rose. You'll need to choose some candy for the petals and some for the leaves. Taking your first piece of petal candy and some fine tweezers, grasp the candy across the middle with the tweezers, hold tight and then twist between the finger and thumb of your other hand, and you'll make this twist cone. That's going to be the centerpiece of our rose. The next piece of petal candy, you want to do a pinch. So what to do is break the dome of the candy just by pressing it in, and then between finger and thumb pinch it and you get this V shape. Hold that V shape and just push down the top of the petal with the thumb of your other hand. I'll do that again. So break the dome, pinch it into a V and then thumb down the back, and you'll end up with a slightly curved piece of candy. Once more, press it in with your thumb, pinch it and then fold that curve back on itself. And in the grand tradition, here's some I've prepared earlier. You'll need about 10 or so. Next comes the assembly. Take a petal, pop a blob of glue at the bottom and then lay your cone into that groove, bottom of the candy to the bottom of the candy, and then pinch into place. And you can see that I've got glue there, that'll dry clear, but the shape of the bud's already starting. So another pinch petal, same thing, glue in the fold, and this time I'm going to overlap with the previous petal slightly. So that's 2 on. Bit more glue, and then again overlap slightly. Bit of a wriggle, and we've now got 3 surrounding that twist bud. Okay. So if you're mass producing these, I suggest that at this stage you move this to the side, let the glue set, and make another couple of flowers, come back to it for the second layer. I'll have a go at carrying on and hope the glue doesn't slip too much. And the second layer, we start off by filling in the gap between 2 of the petals from the first layer, and again everything's meeting at the bottom. And if you use too much glue, it ends up sticking to you, which starts being a problem. Again, overlap slightly and then pinch at the bottom. And usually I get to use 4 or 5, try for odd numbers. Slightly overlapping, using the glue to slide it round a bit. There we go. And I think one more on this one. Filling that space just there. So Once it's all together, just hold it, support it in your fingertips like this, and just press it down just to make that bud nice and tight. And feel free just to get the tweezers in and retighten that twist if it needs it. But I think that's a nice balanced rose shape. Once it's all dry and set, you can use your tweezers to turn down the petal edges as well. So I'm going to make a base now for it to sit on, and for that I'm going to use this foam moulding mat. Alternatively, you could use the bottom of a mouse pad. Large ball embossing tool. Start by circling around the edge of the candy, work your way into the middle with more and more pressure, and you'll find that that natural cup shape gets deeper and the diameter gets smaller. And you can see that there. Add a blob of blue, and I'm going to sit the base of the rose into that cup. So that not only gives a natural appearance, which by the way only you will know is there because people won't see it underneath the rose, but it'll also strengthen the base of the rose around all those petals. And then for the leaves, I just fold up and in half, and then I would glue along that ridge, open it out slightly and slip it under the edge of the rose like so. The next flower I'd like to show you is what I'm going to call the shuttlecock flower, and you'll need a disc of white card around an inch or 2.5 centimeters diameter, and into the middle I'm going to place a foam pad and then squish your choice of candy so that it's flat, and pop that into the center and stick it down firmly. For the center of the flower, we're going to be using fold down. So have some candy with the printed side up and squidge it between your finger and thumb so that it folds down. And don't quite know how many we'll need, but keep folding until you're bored, and if you're making more than one flower, of course you can use them up. And if you make too many at this stage, then we'll be able to fold them back the other way for the last round on the flower. So once you think you've folded enough, and you'll get to know roughly how many, then take your glue, and I tend to do half the round at a time, and put some glue halfway round. Then using tweezers or your fingers, what you're doing is popping it into the glue and then wedging it under that first candy on the foam pad so that it sticks up at an angle but doesn't flip up, because that corner is wedged. And you can start to see now the shuttlecock shape forming. If it starts moving a bit, that's fine, just pop everything back into place with your fingertips. Every now and again you'll need to readjust, just until that glue sets. There we go, so that's one half done. So how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you'll need around 16 to 20, depending on how tight your fold downs are. Okay, so that should be enough for the other half. So again, pop some glue around the edge of that first candy, and we'll carry on gluing and wedging our fold downs. You can see that it can be a bit fiddly and they can move around a bit, but that with a little bit of perseverance you can get them all in place, and then just tidy up with your fingertips. There we go, so that's the first round. So any leftover just flip, and we're now folding up for the second round, and you'll need slightly fewer because they tend to open wider, and you can soon find if you've got candy stuck together because it's a little stiffer to fold up. So it's a little tricky getting the glue nozzle under the petals that you've just done. So what I'm going to do is hold it in my tweezers, apply glue to the ridge just at 1/2, and then slide that onto the disc just under the row that you've just done, first row, which is already sitting nicely. If you get any on your non-stick craft sheet, just wipe that away. And you work your way round popping those petals, the fold up petals, underneath that first round. Now if you're making several, then I suggest you wait until the first round of gluing has settled, and then you'll get much less movement as is happening here. So wipe away that glue again. Tuck it in and press it down. And by the magic of television trickery, you'll see me do this a lot quicker. So there we have it, a completed daisy, shuttlecock shape. It's not too late usually just to tidy up some of those fold down petals that we put in the first row. Set that aside to dry, and then you'll be able to stick it onto your project. The next flower we're going to tackle is the roll-up flower, and it's because we use the candy rolled up. So pinch between finger and thumb, and then pinwheel between your fingers, squeezing, and you'll find it gets tighter and tighter until it forms this small tube-like affair. And as you get practice, you can do it a bit quicker. It's certainly something you could do in front of the telly. Every now and again one will kink and won't do as well as you think, but just persevere and it'll eventually go. There we go. So I should now have 12 tubes, and I have a 1-inch disc of craft card. It's 2.5 centimeter diameter, and the first ones I'm going to do are the compass points. And I find having a pair of tweezers helps for their placement, and I'm placing them just so that the tube is at the edge of the disc. And it helps if you can put the loose end of the curl into the glue. It just stops it undoing later on. And then I do a V shape in each of the quadrants. So I'm going to do another deep cup, this time with the pattern facing up. So again, into your moulding mat, start circling on the outside and then increase the pressure as you reach the middle. And that's glued cup up into the centre. And then to finish it off, so into the centre, majestic purple liquid pearls, and there you have it, the completed roll-up daisy. The Star of David flower is quite quick. This is using the hexagonal triangular gold foiled sheet, and I've got a 5/8 of an inch punch here, and I'm just going to line up the punch with the centre of the punch around the centre of one of those stars, and with a bit of oomph we'll punch that out. So that's going to be the base. I'm now going to glue around the edge of that hexagon, and with my fine tweezers I'm going to do that twist movement again, and it's easier to do it as you go. So twist into the cone, keep it held, and then in that gap just press it into the glue. That's the first one done. Twist, tighten, glue into the gap, and you'll see in the centre they overlap ever so slightly. And it doesn't take at all long to build up the flower. Now if you push them too far into the centre they'll meet and you'll find that they don't quite fit on. So just have that little circle gap that's developing there. And there you go. That's the flower done. All that's left is for a bit of copper pearl, liquid pearls in the centre, and we're done. You already know the elements to making this flower from the previous flowers, and we'll start with a Candi cup side up filled with glue. For the darker shade I'm going to pinch but not turn back the flowers petals, and going to put them so that they are point into the glue. So single pinch, and we don't turn back like we did the roses, and into the glue. And imagine that you're doing it on the points of the compass, and if you're finding that 4 don't fit point down, then pinch a little tighter. So they neatly fit in, and then a quick squirt of glue in each of those V's like we did the rose. Ideally it'll be dry at that stage, and then the lighter tone we're going to twist and pop into that V. Like so. Oh, 2 together there. And to finish off, squirt of copper pearl, or you could use the flamingo or the baby pink. And then for mounting for your projects, you can either have the petals follow the crosses or follow the flowers so that the cross shows through. Doesn't particularly matter which way round. And that's the pinch and twist flower completed. The final flower for this program is what I call the propeller flower, and it starts with 5 petals that I've pinched ready so that you don't have to watch me do that again, and a Candi cup side up filled with glue. Now, rather than placing them tip uppermost, I'm going to pop them so that the tip is slightly on the side, and you can see quite quickly how the curve of that pinch starts forming this propeller shape as you pop them on. And if you rotate and stick, you'll find that they start shifting and moving. Don't worry too much. Pop them all on, and then once you're there, just press down slightly in the middle and watch them all squidge out. But by holding them gently, you should be able to manipulate them into place. With a bit of patience and getting glue off my finger. You can see the propeller card there, and as the glue sets, it's easier to move the petals back into place without the others shifting. And once you've done that, once again it's a small squirt of liquid pearls into the middle to finish off. A propeller flower.